Well, Matt, it's been a couple of days since the Swindon game. I gather you gave the players a couple of days off to recover from that and the trip to Hartlepool. But reflecting on an exciting night at the VBS and getting the right result in the end, when for a while it looked as though it was just going to be go beyond us.
Yeah, it was really pleasing to get the result. Unfortunately, we've been on the end of a couple against us earlier on in the season and at their place as well, when I don't think we deserved to lose on the night. But yeah, I felt we deserved to win the game. I've watched it back, obviously. They certainly had their few moments in the first half and spells. But as I say, that was, and I think I said it to you after the game, I just wasn't really happy with the information onto the players and the organisation because of the manager's third game in charge and playing the first system and the first Wade out of the first three games. He played a different system in the previous two. So it was just getting to grips with that, really. But I felt at half time when we did, we really came and stamped our authority on the game and got right on top of them. And a lot of block shots, never really tested the keeper, but a lot of blocks, a lot of balls going out for corners, a lot of pressure, a lot of good play, and just kept knocking on the door. And I thought our night might not go as planned when Matt Dennis hit the bar there, but we look so fit, we look so strong, powerful coming through latter stages. Subs had a big impact on the game, and yeah, then when we got the goal, I have seen it back. You'd be fuming the other way around. I do think it's a foul on the goalkeeper, and then we response from there. Then we really sensed the victory, and 2 minutes later we're in the lead. Deflection from Ali, but maybe a little bit of fortune on both the goals. But over the course of the season, certainly early parts of the season, I've been feeling really hard done by and unlucky in spells. And as I say, that is football, and that does even itself out. And like I said, Swindon, I don't think deserve to beat us at their place. But we've managed to level things up, 3 points each out of the two games this season.
It's funny when decisions like that happen against you. You often hear managers say, people say things even themselves out, but I don't think they do. But I think Tuesday night was proof possibly that they do over a season.
Yeah, you never know over the course of the season whether they do level themselves out. But you do just feel as a manager, and I like to think I'm always pretty honest on reflection, and especially when we've maybe not got the right results or things haven't gone for us, that I would look back honestly and tell you what I think and why I think we've lost the game or not got what we deserved. And sometimes it is the bounce of the ball, the rub of the green, and not a lot we can do. Sometimes it's mistakes and errors, of course it is, and things we can maybe do better as a group. But there is spells where you think, oh dear, that's just gone for us today. That little ricochet there, that knockdown, that ball's just dropped there, and we find ourselves losing the game or not coming away with the maximum points. And maybe you could say that the other way round on Tuesday night, and maybe we did have a bit of fortune, but it wasn't like we were backs against the wall and we've nicked a 2-1. Totally against the run of play and don't deserve anything out of the game. Not at all. I was really pleased with large parts of the performance. And as I say, I feel we deserve to win the game on the night.
An impact from the substitutes as well, you mentioned, but changing the front two, and that worked perfectly.
Yeah, and that's what I've been after, and that's what I've been looking to do, and that's what I was waiting for January for as well. And yeah, the two boys who came on, both new to us, but have both had a good impact since they've come in, and two real bright sparks, and freshened it right up for us up front there, and saw us over the line.
Now, you mentioned earlier about being on the wrong end of a few late ones earlier in the season. Remember you coming out of the changing room at Doncaster, looking a bit dazed after the 5 minutes of stoppage time there. It's Doncaster at Sutton tomorrow, so a chance to not atone for that, but certainly make up for the disappointment of that afternoon.
It is, yeah. I'm not saying we're going to suddenly get a late winner or two, and it would be nice again, just as long as we win the game to counteract that one out. Whether they're against the same teams, that's very unlikely. But we were excellent up there. I think it was our first away game of the season, I believe, Tony. Yeah, we were excellent up there. A really dominant display. 1-0 should have been outside, really. 3 or 4, which was a bit of a story at the time, really, of not taking our chances and seeing the games off. which I suppose leaves you that little chance. And again, maybe a couple of moments there where the ball's bounced off the guy's shoulder and dropped down to Agard's path. And so, yes, mistakes certainly for a couple of the goals, but certainly bits of fortune as well. And we find ourselves losing the game, and even drawing it would have been a travesty. So, a hard one to take. And that certainly was one of those early season late goals that really hurt us at the time. But they've made quite a few changes, obviously a change of manager, made quite a few signings in January. Picked up a bit. I'll say picked up a bit. They've gone and lost 3 on the bounce. Then they've now gone and won 3 on the bounce. I think the manager's had 15 games since he took over late October. He's only drawn 1 of them, won 7, lost 7. So they're a team that probably could go either way in what they're doing at the moment, and they're probably just trying to find consistency in the right way. But they've certainly got that in the moment off the back of 3 wins. So it'll be a tough game. They're right in and around us in the division. As I say, they've strengthened their squad from when we played them earlier on, and we're expecting, as always, a tough game tomorrow.
Yeah, the two sides next to each other in the table. I think we go above them if we win, but both sides will know that victory puts them really up sort of heavily in the playoff picture.
As it would do for either team, to be honest, Tony. Sorry, you said that, yeah, but no, it's a big game, and 15 games to go now. They're all starting to get big, no matter where and who you're playing, and where they are in the league. It's really important just to keep the momentum, especially with what we've got as well, going and keeping us going to 10 games to go, to 5 games to go, and just keep us right in the mix to still have a real good shout come to those last few games to push them and get over the line into the playoffs.
And so the supporters, I guess, can be a big help as well tomorrow. That good atmosphere in the last 5 minutes when we got the equaliser on Tuesday. I think the noise when the winner went in was possibly as loud as anything we've had on the ground this season. And I think you'd be looking for a repeat of that tomorrow afternoon, because Doncaster will be well supported.
Yeah, as a lot of these big clubs are when they come down to Gannett Green Lane. There'll be a big Doncaster support there, just like there was with Swindon. But yeah, back on a Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. I've always praised our supporters and getting behind us. I just urge them to do so again tomorrow in full voice and really back us, because it does make a big impact to the players, and really surges them on. And as I say, the fitness level and the energy levels in the last stages of the game, we're just getting stronger and stronger in games. And just the fans backing us, and it works both ways. We certainly give them something to cheer about on Tuesday night.
No, we're without Craig Eastman and Omar Bugiel suspended tomorrow. I was looking at the stand on Tuesday night. I had Lewis John and Will Randall sitting there as well. So we've got a few big players out of the team at the moment. How's it looking for tomorrow with respect?
Yeah, there's a couple of late calls on those two back training, but we've just got to see how they are last minute with those two. So yeah, it's just really obviously John Barden is doing great and is in all the time now, progressing well with us. Matt Riley's now back fit. Adam Lovett's back fit. Josh Newville is going to be out with his ankle injury, probably another month, I reckon, before he's back in contention to be involved in the squad. But other than that, other than the suspensions and the 2 late calls that we've got, we're not too bad.
And just don't even mention it on Tuesday night, but Kobe Rowe coming back after his injury, back into the back 4 and looked terrific again.
Yeah, it really gives us problems, doesn't it? Look, which is what I want. Competition all over. Rob's missed a couple of games. Sam Hart's come in and done really well. Kobe Rowe, Louis John, along with obviously Ben Goodliff. Enzio really doing well at right back. Then goes back to his natural position, playing wide for us. So Joe Kizzy, centre half, right back. The midfield options that we've got. Harry coming in, who's had to be patient since he's coming back from his injury and doing well. And as I say, the wide options with Enzio, David, and then the attacking options that we've got in the final third of the pitch that Leanne Goal and Matt Dennis have brought to the table since coming to the club. And I know Hish Casimir will bring exactly the same, just as I say, just getting up to speed and not quite back into training yet, but it will certainly give us another good option in those attacking areas, hopefully in the coming weeks.
And those attackers have got a chance tomorrow to start staking a claim, because Omar's going to be missing for the next 2 games. So whoever comes in, it's a big chance for them to give you another difficult decision in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, exactly. And you got your captain, and and the centre forward has done so well from day one for me, coming back in game or 2 games time. And if we can continue the form we're on and the competition, it just goes to show we're in a really good place at the moment, squad wise. And long may it continue, and long may the good run that we've been on for a long while now. I'd say, I said probably since early December, really. The Carlisle game, a really good performance up there, and things really started turning off the back of that game, and good Christmas period. So I'd say we're really into 2.5 strong months of feeling really good and in a good place, and with about 2.5 months to go now. So if we can continue or repeat what we've done in the last 2.5 months in the 2.5 coming up, then I certainly don't think we're going to be far away.
You say about going back to the Carlisle game, only 2 defeats we've suffered in the league since then are away to Leyton Orient and Salford, and you look at the league table, and both those are games where you go, I wouldn't say more in hope than expectation, but certainly the home side probably starts as the favourite. So take those 2 out, and we've gone pretty well.
Yeah, 2 of the strongest teams of the division, 2 of the toughest places to go, and even then, a worldie on 60 minutes, a great goal on 60 minutes at Orient when we were toe to toe with them was the difference, and they scored one late. And even Salford, an error by a goalkeeper right on the stroke of half time was a real sucker punch with the conditions there, with strong wind. Then we had it second half, camped in their half. 1-0 would have been a great scoreline to go in at half time with. Unfortunately, it was 2. And then we missed a penalty with 20 to go. And I think if we scored out, we definitely get something out of the game. So even those 2 games that we've lost, we've been right in there. Yeah, it's been a real good run, really positive 2.5 months. They are all tough games, as we know. Another one tomorrow. But we're just literally looking at them one at a time, keep trying to put points on the board and just keep us in that mix all the time.
Well, it's exciting times. We look forward to it tomorrow at Sutton. Should be another good afternoon. Thanks for talking to us, Matt, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Brilliant. Cheers, Tony. Thanks a lot.